Tonight on The Ruckus, we're joined by future Hall of Fame fighter and trainer Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Welcome to The Ruckus, Eddie. It's good to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to talk to you.
You've been bringing The Ruckus yourself in a real way over the last few days on Facebook, so we wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what's happening between you and Badou Jack. So let's just jump right into it. From what I understand, there was a text message exchange between the two of you ending your relationship. Can you tell us exactly what the text message said?
Well, it just basically, it wasn't, we didn't text back and forth because I had Badou at my daughter's shower. Mm-hmm. My daughter, Melissa's having twins. So I invited all the guys and, their spouses to join us in celebrating the birth of my two grandkids.
Uh-huh.
So we had a good time. We had a great time. Me and Badou talked for like about an hour. Mm-hmm. Everything was nice. He brought his daughter, and it was perfect. We had a great night. Everybody laughed and joked and talked and ate and did what, parents do and supposedly friends do.
Right.
So, yeah, so maybe like about a day, I was in the bed sleeping. I woke up at 2 o'clock. Put it that way. I woke up at like 2 o'clock. And there was a text on my phone. And the text said, I don't know how to tell you this. That's why I have to text you. I could not tell you face to face. And he told me, he said that I have to terminate you. He wanted Lou Del Valle to take over as head trainer.
So we're going to get into this guy, Lou Del Valle, because we don't really know much of him. We kind of seen him in the corner a couple times in a couple of your fights, but Badou also did an interview stating that, he feels like that he has improved with Lou, but you guys weren't seen eye to eye. So what can you tell us about Lou Del Valle?
Me and Lou always saw eye to eye. There was nothing wrong with me and Lou. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Lou has a problem. He has a problem.
A drug problem, an alcohol problem? What kind of problem?
From what I understand, when he comes into the corner, he smells alcohol. And I've seen him drinking a lot of times. I've seen Lou drink. I've seen him drunk. He come in the corner one time when Badou fought Lucha Boutte. He was smelling like alcohol. So, yeah, I mean, it's bad. And every time I tell Lou, you gotta cut that out. We got a champion, and we want to keep him champion. You can't come in the corner like that. And he always tell me, well, I'm going to rehab. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay. When are you going to go to rehab? I didn't want to bring that out. Well, maybe that's what Badou wants, somebody in his corner. Now, I'm not angry at Lou because I can handle the corner without Lou. It's not a problem.
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
But I want to see, I'm trying to help Lou, because we got a good prospect. I told him, I said, listen, Lou, I'll take you to the hospital because Lou told me that he was urinating blood.
Mm.
So I said, Lou, I can take you to the hospital. You know, I don't see Lou as a threat to what I do. You know, I don't see him as a threat. I don't have no animosity against Lou. You know, I'm just trying to keep a sane corner.
Yeah.
So, Eddie,
you know,
let me ask you, since you mentioned that, did you ever mention to Badou about his issues in the corner with being drunk? Did you guys ever discuss that?
We discussed it a lot. Let me tell you something. We were in a corner. There's 2 instances when Lou came into the corner that he was a little intoxicated, where he told, first and foremost, we was fighting George Groves. And Louis came into the corner again. He was intoxicated. And he told Badou, this was around the 8th or 9th round. He told Badou, listen, Badou, I know you're tired. Why would you tell a fighter that he's tired?
Yeah.
And Badou even screamed at Lou, I'm not tired. I'm not tired. And if you can get the 2 tapes about George Groves, he did it in the George Groves fight, and he did it also in the Boutte fight. He literally told Badou, I know you're tired, both times.
So why do you think that? Why do you think this is happening now? Do you think Lou kind of pressured him into just making him, you know, the only trainer in the corner? Do you think he's undercutting, you know, percentage-wise? I mean, why did this happen now?
I can't tell you, but like I said, it happened twice. That Badou just cut us off. And Badou said, he told me in the text that, you know, he felt that he couldn't have 2 trainers in the corner because it was costing him too much.
You were breaking up. You were breaking up a little bit there, Eddie. He said in a text message that it was costing him too much to have 2 trainers. Is that what he said?
That's exactly what he said.
Mhm.
You know, I got the text. Badou got the text. You know, we put the text on Facebook.
Well, look, I honestly just kind of feel your hurt and a little bit of bitterness on Facebook because he definitely was comeback fighter of the year last year. I mean, we all saw him get knocked out a couple years ago where he was face down, ass up on the canvas. And next thing you know, he comes back as comeback fighter and he beat Darrell, Groves, Boutte. I mean, you did a really, really phenomenal job with him. So, I mean, we understand why you're upset. And I think that you're on a mission now. I think we read that you're with the Nevada Commission to try to put a motion in effect about trainer-fighter contracts. So why was there no contract between you and Badou? Managers have contracts, promoters have contracts, but trainers always seem to get the short end of the stick.
Because I believe in my work. My work has been so that I've made about 10 champions. Why should I need a contract? I believe in my work. You know, I listen, I took guys with 11 fights, Michael Bent, and made him heavyweight champion when he knocked out Tommy Marshall. I don't need a contract. I believe in my work. You know, I mean, I had a lot of champions. Chad Dawson, you know, you name them. I had a lot of champions. I feel, why should I need a contract? If you come to me and I make you champion, you know, I mean, it's on the popping. You know, and listen, I raised Badou like my son. Badou's father, who lives in Sweden, texted me and told me that when Badou is in Sweden, he's my son. When Badou is in Las Vegas, he's your son. Why would I need a contract when his own father tells me this?
I know. But, boxing, I guess, is just so shady. And a lot of times these fighters make these moves and they leave people left and right. And, the trainers are the ones that are in the gym every day, hours and hours, and sweating and going through that whole grind. And it's amazing to me that there's not anything in place to protect trainers, because then the fighter gets to a certain level, and we've seen this happen to other trainers, not just you. The fighter gets to a certain level, and then they feel like it's time to move on. They feel like it's time to get a new trainer, and then the new trainer's reaping the benefits of these huge paydays. I mean, Badou's going to get a huge payday his next fight.
I really don't care that he fired me. I was just hurt because I introduced him to my family as he introduced me to his family. And I thought we were family. Remember, he was just at my daughter's.
Yeah, that's hurt. Mm-hmm.
It's the money part. I don't think that the part is ever hurt as him betraying me. Mm-hmm. And remember, I was just with him. At my daughter's shower. How could you do something like that? Mm. I mean, what hurt me bad is the text. If he would have came to me in my face and tell me, about, I wouldn't care. I'm going to always make money. I think, and listen, I think that I am one of the top 5 in the trainers in the world. And I work hard and I work smart. When Louis Delval came above, he told me, Champ, I am not going to interfere with you and Badou. He said, you're doing a good job, and I'm just going to be the pad man. And I said, no problem, Lou.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, it went crazy.
Have you seen Lou Valle in the gym since all this happened? Has he spoken to you at all?
Let me explain something to you. When I first walked in the gym, Lou Valle jumped off of the couch in the gym and ran to me like Jim Brown getting ready to tackle somebody. And he said, this is his exact words. Champ, I did not do it to you. I did not tell Badou to fire you. He said, man, look here. It was all Badou's doing. He says, I told Badou you're doing the wrong thing by firing me. He just jumped up and looked like he lost his mind. He said, I told him not to fire you, but he did it anyway.
Eddie, do you think that Badou knew that he had these problems with drinking? You guys have discussed it on different occasions. Do you think he was undercutting you with what?
Badou knew Lou's problem. Let me explain something to you. We were in Washington, D.C. fighting Butte. Lucien Butte. Badou was defending the title. Okay? Mm-hmm. I was upstairs. And all of a sudden, they called me and said, man, they put Lou out of the hotel. the hotel security. I said, well, why did they put him out of the hotel? And they said they found some drugs and drug paraphernalia on his dresser. You know, I don't drink and I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. That's not my thing. My job is Badou Jack's head trainer. I don't drink and I don't smoke. I'm a Muslim. We don't do that. And when they said they put him out of the hotel, and I'm said, oh man, I hope this doesn't get back to the camp where, listen, we're part of the money team. That's if Floyd, you know, has taken care of us. Why would you want to destroy a thing that we're all a part of? We're representing Floyd at the fullest because Floyd does the right thing by us.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about these guys from the money team who you've worked with over the years. Do you think there was Ishe, who's had plenty to say on social media regarding the situation between you and Badou, Jayleon Love, Ladarius Miller? What part have they played in all this? You know, is there a problem with loyalty within the team? What is your take on working with those guys and not working with them any longer?
Well, listen, when Memphis left me, his next fight he lost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't have nothing against these guys. If you want to leave me, go ahead. You know, as far as Ishe, he got the dog mess beat at him by Valle Martirosian. And it's so funny. I don't know how Vanna's got my number, but he called me the other day and said, man, look here, I'm thinking about switching trainers. Would you want to be my trainer?
Wow.
I mean, I was shocked. You know, so I guess Ishe just don't have nothing else to do because his career is going around down the drain. He's on his last legs. You know, he's fighting a guy that, you know, not a great fighter. So if he loses this one, he might as well, you know, look for something else to do. You know, I don't mind these guys leaving, but then they start lying. You know, and I didn't even ask Ishe why did he leave me. I just kept it moving. Because like I said, I get I get phone calls every day from great fighters all over the world. All over the world. So I don't worry about that. I don't even bring it to them. You know, Ishe, for a guy to tell the world if he wasn't world champion, he probably would have killed himself. So in reality, I saved his life. I took Ishe. He was a curtain raiser. You know what a curtain raiser is?
No. Can you explain that? What is that?
A curtain raiser is a guy that opens a show.
Oh.
You know, like a 4-rounder. So he tells everybody that I am, you know, the reason why he fired me because I didn't come in his room after he lost to Lara.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell him, sir, I had to come in your room. My bag was in your room. Where would you think I was going to get my bag? When he said that, I was not in his room. My bag was in his room. You know, they say things when they have nothing else to say.
Yeah, it's like they start making these excuses. I want to talk about when you were a fighter because you come from a way different era. You know, this era of boxing, it's a modern thing. You know, fighters leave trainers all the time. You kind of come from an era where the guys rarely left their trainers, and it's kind of like you're from the area where you're really proud of the time that you fought in, and you kind of carry that torch today. for your era. So when you were fighting, did you ever have to leave your team? Like, did you leave trainers or anybody? And if so, what was the difference back then? Did you have to do that?
No, not at all. I've had, some different trainers because, I had Panama Lewis, but he got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He got in trouble with the commissions. So I had to switch trainers. I didn't want to, but I had to. I had a great trainer, Chicky Ferrara, trained Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad was my mentor. This is where I get that situation, whereas I had plenty of times hung out with Ali and we talked a lot, and he told me that I was going to be world champion. I trained in his camp when I was preparing for the title. I spent years with Muhammad Ali. I went to his funeral, consulted with his family. They call me uncle. You know what I'm saying? So my roots are firmly planted with a person that helped me win a world title. So these other guys, they don't know what loyalty is.
Yeah, I've talked to some old school guys, and the one thing that they have all said about you, to me, is that you were always very easy to work with, as a fighter. And I've heard really good stories about, you went to Benny Briscoe's funeral, which, that just speaks volumes of how proud you are of the era that you fought in. I mean, you flew in for Benny Briscoe's funeral when some Philly fighters that live in Philly didn't even go to it. So I got to salute you for that. You're just very authentic.
Thank you. Listen, I'm a fighter. I don't claim to be nothing else. Now, I'm a maker of champions. I don't claim to be nothing else. If you don't want to be with me, I got no problem with that. But the good thing is about my situation, my phone never stops ringing.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, Bonner Rose, he called me. I don't know how he got my number.
Bonner's got everybody's number.
No doubt.
Well, he sure had Ishe's number when he whooped his behind the other day. You know what I'm saying?
Eddie, you are just chock full of everything today, aren't you?
So what's
I got to defend myself.
Yeah, you do. So what's next for you? What moving on from Badou? I mean, it's a sucky situation. What's next for you, Eddie?
I got a bunch of guys coming in. I got brand new guys coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I am ecstatic. I'm ecstatic to be working with some class guys. And I'm just going to continue to do what I do, is make world champions. There's one guy that I know that can be a world champion, but he's being blackballed by the industry.
Oh. Hello?
Well, hello.
Yeah. Mhm.
He says, let me tell you this here. He's being blackballed by the industry. Nobody wants to do anything with him. That is Michael Jones.
Oh, Mike Jones, yeah. Mhm.
If I have to do anything, if I have to shell out my own money, I'm going to make Mike Jones make those people eat their words. That's just how it is. I'm going to make those people eat their words. They talking about blackballing him. No, but him hanging out with me, there's no such thing as being blackballed. I'm not letting nobody blackball him. He's a great fighter. He's a great fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to work. I'm going to work hard to get him in a position. I'm going to fly out to the WBC convention, talk to Holding Suleiman, and let him know that I am working with Michael Jones, and I'm going to get him fights to bring him back to where he left off at.
Yeah, well, Eddie, I'll be honest with you. I'm from Philly, and I work closely with Russell Peltz, and I know that Russell Peltz always had a real soft spot for Mike Jones. And, till this day, he always speaks highly of Mike Jones. And I was kind of wondering, where he's been. I heard he was back in Philly looking to fight, and I had no idea that is he back out in Vegas training with you now?
He'll be back out in Vegas tomorrow.
Oh, okay, good.
And I'm going to be working with him. I'm going to resurrect his career, and I'm going to make him champion.
I heard that. All right. Jay, anything else for Eddie?
One quick question I have for you, Eddie. I follow you on Facebook, and I saw that your post about wanting to speak with the commission about creating some type of legislation or something to create some contracts between trainers and their athletes. Real briefly, how, in your mind, what would be the perfect arrangement? Would it be fight by fight? Would it be longevity? What would be perfect to you in terms of a contract between a trainer?
No, I think a fight-by-fight contract with a trainer and a fighter is good. Because we're in the crosshairs of the situation. So I talked to Bob Bennett today, because these are where a lot of the fights take place at. A lot of the big fights take place at. So I just want to keep it moving and protect all the fighters. And I'm going to name this piece of legislation the Badou Jack. Turn your back. Don't give a hack. You know what I'm saying? I can laugh at this. I can laugh and joke at this.
You got to. Yeah, you got to.
Right. Look, I brought Badou Jack, but he was a curtain raiser. He didn't know a left hook from a fish hook. I took him all the way to the top. Nobody knew him. When he got knocked out, I told Badou, listen, I still believe in you. Don't worry about nothing. I'll bring you all the way back. And I think it was 3 or 4 fights all the way back. Became a world champion. Things like that, And then for him to do that to me, God, dog, I'm your
That's
brother.
A hurt piece.
Right. I'm your Muslim brother. And you just turned your back on me. That hurt. And it wasn't about the money he's going to make. Because I make money every day. I'm straight. I don't believe in, that crap. But what he did to me, was crazy. It's crazy.
Eddie, you've made a lot of champions. Maybe you're just a little too expensive. Maybe you want to hold on to all these earnings you're going to get.
But listen, all I charge is 10%. That's all. I don't charge because he won a title. My fee don't go up. It stays there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And we're kind of joking too. Like you said, we got to kind of laugh about it because you know what? When you're in those fights with 4-rounders and 6-rounders, you're making 10% of nothing. And that's what a lot of people maybe don't realize is that, you're getting scraps in the beginning, but you're putting in the work and you're building a champion. And, when they do start making the bigger money, then, yeah, you do start reaping those benefits. But in the beginning, 10% of nothing is nothing, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My friend, I had a friend of mine. He's deceased now, but he always told me one thing. He says, Champ, he says, how do you work with your fighter? I said, man, I work hard, man. Every day I work hard. I had 2 surgeries. I had back surgery and I had hip surgery. So I hire other guys to replace with the hand pads. I can still do hand pads, but everybody, and the thing about it is I share the wealth. You got a guy that's a good mid-man? Okay, well, you want to do miss for my guy? No problem. We'll get some money to you, no problem. And so that goes to show you that these people think I cannot do mitts. But it's crazy. I can still do mitts and all that.
Eddie, don't you think mitt work is a bit too glorified these days? I mean, all this fancy mitt work. I mean, they're not doing that in the ring anyway. I mean, I read that all the time. Oh, he couldn't, do mitt work with me, and I'm like, well, a lot of old school fighters didn't do all that fancy mitt work anyway.
Exactly, and I try to tell them this. I said, listen, the pads don't hit back. You going in there trying to look all fancy, this and that. Why would you don't fight like that?
Mhm.
I said, you guys don't fight like that. That's crazy. But it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. And I tell all these guys that think they know it all, I said, let me tell you something, sir. What I forgot you don't know. And remember, I taught you all you know, but I never taught you all I know. I took Ishe Smith, who was, I think he lost a few fights in a row. He asked me to train him. I said, no problem. Let me train you. We went to Brooklyn and fought one of main events, Rising Stars. I forgot his name. And this is this guy's hometown. So we went out there, and Ishe beat him. I told Ishe how to beat him, and we beat this guy easy. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, Ishe and I was on top of the world. You couldn't tell him nothing, And we get a world title fight in Detroit.
Yep.
Beat him easy. And now, we on top of the world. Again, Ishe was a curtain raiser. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't supposed to win those two fights, but, again, he won. He's world champion. But I seen it coming. But I still didn't need no contract. Who in the hell would ever think he's going to become a world champion, Ishe Smith? Nobody ever thought he would become a world champion. But this is what I do. I make world champions. But for them to treat me like this here, I just say, well, it is what it is. But I never said anything. I just did what I had to do and keep producing world champions. Then, Badou Jack. Now, this is when Floyd starts the money team. Mm-hmm. And I told Floyd, I said, Floyd, I'm going to make you a world champion, and I'm going to make you another world champion. I said, I can make you world champions for years. Mm-hmm. I got guys in Floyd's gym right now are in line to be world champions. One guy told me today that's on the money team, he said, Coach, I'll never leave you. He said, I'll never leave you. We're going to be together until the end. And I believe him. I believe him. So I told him, no, I'm not worried about nothing. Mm-hmm.
It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you tonight. We have learned a lot about the making of a champion, and I'm so glad to find out that you are a man that spreads the wealth, because we are poor here at the Ruckus. So when you feel like spreading the wealth with a radio show, you make sure you give us a call. So once again, thank you so much for chatting with us tonight. We definitely wanted to get your side of the story, and we wish you continued success, and we're excited to see what your next move is going to be.
Well, listen. There's three sides to every story. Always remember that.
Mm-hmm.
His side, my side, and the truth. And when you flip it around, shake it up and down, my side is always going to come out on top.
All right.
Ladies, it was a pleasure.
All right.
Enjoy your night and take it easy.
All right. We'll talk soon, Eddie. Thanks.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.